Good morning. Hang on one second while I adjust my camera. Hmm. Well, that's not working. There we go. Technical difficulties. Good morning. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at the newly joined Centers for Spiritual Living Communities of Greater Baltimore and Columbia. This is just for today, a time of eclectic readings, sharing of perspectives, meditation, and prayer. And today is June 21st. And so what calls to me this morning is actually a paragraph in what I'm working with this Sunday. And this is out of the Narcotics Anonymous literature guiding principles. The subtitle of that is The Spirit of Our Traditions. And so I will offer you this, and the only thing that I have tweaked about this reading is references to NA. That's it. So here we go. Staying focused on our primary purpose as a member means recognizing the ways our personal affiliations can affect the group, and also how desire for money, property, or prestige can impact our personal experience of unity. When we consider this in our own lives, we often begin by noticing how we respond to what attracts us. Many of us appreciate having nice things. We value being respected in our community. Being regarded by others may be important enough for us to pay attention to our behavior and our self presentation. Or it may be so important that we base our own sense of ourselves on how we think others are seeing us. For me, that last sentence is really the power of this reading. Um, that place where, or it may be so important that we base our own sense of ourselves on how we think others are seeing us. Notice it doesn't say we establish our sense of self based on how other people are seeing us, but rather how we think other people are seeing us. Because my experience is when we're in that level of distraction, when we know so little about ourselves and our own value that we're externalizing it, we're also projecting that lack of self respect, that lack of self dignity, that lack of self awareness, that lack of self value onto other people, blaming them for thinking that about us, all the while we're the ones thinking it and projecting it, and they're responding to that energy flow in us. And the law of attraction, the law of reciprocity, is meeting us at our own messed up beliefs about ourselves. And then we use it as, ha, see, told you so, without ever recognizing we're the ones creating it. And I invite us, self included, to live in that awareness, because the moment we become aware of it, now we're at choice to own it. And the minute we own it, we empower ourselves to change it. And beloved, when we recognize the power that we are, that we, each and every one of us, is an intentional, on purpose choice of creation to experience itself as each of us. I don't know that there's a greater value that we could possibly have. And my own experience has been when I even allow myself to consider that, my sense of awareness, my sense of self shifts. It begins to shift from the human self to the truth of me, which is the divine self. And then I begin to understand that the human thing that I call self is the divine expressing itself individualized. That it's not a separate self, right? It's not a separate self. It is simply creation's expression as individualized as me, individualized as you. And so all of our relationships, all of our interactions then become accessible to us as the self interacting with itself. And it's a lot from the brain to wrap itself around. It's like, and the heart recognizes it as true. There's an energy within us that recognizes that truth of wholeness, that truth of one substance expressing itself in multiplicity. And then we begin to shift and heal our thoughts of separation. And it is at that point where the promises of Ernest Holmes' What I Believe have begun to come true in my life. The freedom from discord becomes available to me. The direct revelation of consciousness that is me becomes more available to me as I clear the roadblocks of awareness. I relate it to the Rumi poem, and I'm just paraphrasing here. I'm not quoting Rumi exactly, but the essence of it is that we're not here to seek out and find more love, but rather to remove all of the barriers that we've built against it. And perhaps consciousness is the same way. That we're not looking for consciousness. We are consciousness in form. There's no place to look for it. We are it. But rather to remove, to neutralize, to heal all of the thoughts of separation that keep us from it. So perhaps the journey is less about doing something and more about stopping things that don't work, that don't serve us, that separate us from our divinity, from an experience of our divinity. Perhaps. So that's what came alive in me to share this morning. We do have some time. If any of you would like to share your perspectives, you're always welcome to do that in the chat. And if not, we'll go right into our meditation. It's a 5-minute meditation practice. Just practice being present with whatever comes up. Practice not making anything happen. Practice not making anything stop happening. Just practice being. Good morning, Chris, my beloved friend. Good to see your name there in the chat. So I invite you to join me for the next 5 minutes practicing just being. And then I will close us out with what is called a spiritual mind treatment, which is designed to heal those thoughts we're talking about. Here we go. So, with this breath, I bring my attention to the reality of one ever present power, one power with no oppositional power, one never in opposition to itself. I recognize this one as everywhere present, as eternal, as infinite intelligence, as infinite love, as infinite peace, as omniscience, omnipresence, as one. I recognize that while it is known by many, many names, in the infinite nature of itself, in the wholeness, completeness, and perfection of itself, it can never be encompassed by one name. God, Buddha, Allah, Great Spirit, the Great Mystery, the universe, life, spirit, all appropriate, all describing what we comprehend of it. And yet it is so much more. And so I claim and affirm that I'm that informed, that all life is that informed, because what is true of one must be true of all. So I speak my word, knowing it is the word of life speaking itself into expression, claiming and affirming that there is a shift in awareness that owns the brilliance and the totality and the preciousness of every expression in this physical realm as an expression of the unseen substance of life. The formless taking form, individualizing itself. And then as that awareness takes root and grows, that thought moves into alignment, that any thought, all thought of separation, of less than, of not enoughness, are neutralized, are simply no longer fed or energized until they simply slip out of awareness. And in its place, that which energizes the space within the thought is wholeness, is completeness, is perfection of the beingness of all creation. Is the compassion and ability to see beyond the human condition to the essence of being, and to know that that is the capacity within each and every being. To see and uplift that, to live this principle of unity, to be unified with the one self, to courageously release even the idea of a separate self, to open up the floodgates of experience of one divine being. I speak a word of perfect health for all those that are experiencing anything that they call or relate to as illness and imperfection in the physical body. I claim and affirm that every cell in every physical body is fully empowered with infinite intelligence. It knows exactly what that individualized body's journey is and expresses that. That the mental equivalent of perfection opens the individualized expression up to know and be guided to that experience of perfect health that is uniquely and solely theirs to have. And I celebrate. I celebrate that the word spoken is the word fulfilled, that the activity of law, the fulfillment of this creative process is automatic, indiscriminate. It simply receives the desire of the heart and makes it so. And so I know it's already done. I know that it is already complete, that awareness is already expanding, that ownership of the divine value that we each are is already present and making itself known in experience. And so I let go, recognizing, celebrating, and owning that it's already done. There's nothing for the human me to do other than step into an experience of what is. So I let go of all resistance. I let go of all fear. I let go of all doubt. I let go of all need or desire or misunderstanding to control. I let go. And I simply live what is. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.